All right, guys, the Utah Jazz lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is Hanson James. This is the SLC Dunk postgame show. Well, all I can say is that a basketball game was played tonight. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about tonight, so probably a short video. But the Jazz were undermanned and looked tired after a long road trip. Get to play again tomorrow night against the Spurs, which I actually am going to the game, so that's great. Got tickets for that one after tonight. So it's a little too bad. The Jazz just looked like they were just not going to win this game. Donovan Mitchell's out, Rudy Gobert's out, Dante Exum's out. Derek Favors returns after getting his eye injury, and they just did not really have a chance. We'll talk about the Thunder a little bit. I honestly don't know what you can get out of this for the Thunder as well, because the Thunder played really well and did what you're supposed to do when you're playing against a team like the Jazz, who are losing more games than winning right now and are very undermanned. Russell Westbrook came out and set the tone early, hit some shots. There was an 11-2 run to start the game, and from that point on, this game was, as Vince Carter says, over. It's over. And so nice win for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who maybe they're figuring it out. I do know, what do they have, 15, 16 wins? 3 of them are the Jazz. So percentage-wise, what is that? Like 20% of their games have been against the Jazz, and 20% of their games they have won. That's frustrating for Jazz fans. I thought at some point this year we would grab a Thunder win, because the Thunder have struggled at times with their chemistry a little bit. But the Jazz have not been able to do that, and part of that is with injuries and frustrating things for the Jazz. We will talk again tomorrow, but, it might, I don't know. Expect miracles. It is Christmas. Maybe there'll be a Christmas miracle tomorrow when the Jazz play the Spurs. Who knows? But we only lose by 30 tonight. I guess it could have been 40. I guess it could have been 50. I don't know. It's but you know what? It's okay. But you know what? The Oklahoma City Thunder are interesting. The defense is really, really good, and that's part of what makes a blowout. You don't make blowouts. You don't get blowouts if you don't have good defense. And the Thunder have a really impressive defense. I actually wrote about on SLC Dunk, if you want to go there. I think Robertson has a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year. If you're a Thunder fan, I think you should really think about that. Of the 3 times we've watched them, and I've watched the Thunder play a couple other teams, their defense is always impressive. It's a very kind of, got Paul George on one side and Robertson on the other. And so maybe Paul George deserves a little Defensive Player of the Year consideration, but they've been like either number 1 or in the top 5 all year. So that's one of the things that's really surprising about the Thunder and impressive, and makes you wonder if at some point the Thunder can figure it out. Maybe they become really, really good like they might have thought they would. I mean, the defense is there. The core, the base of a winning franchise or winning season is there. That's why they've stayed in this season, because offensively they've struggled. And, their big 3 have just at times have just not gelled and not hit shots like you would expect. Westbrook has struggled at times this year. But they're above 500 now, thank you to the Utah Jazz. And that defense is legit. It's legit. At this point, they've played enough games where that defense is something. And if their offense can figure it out, if somehow Carmelo can really kind of meld and they can do something with that, and Paul George and Westbrook kind of figure it out, they might be dangerous. And honestly, when you get into the playoffs, defense travels and talent matters. And the Thunder have enough talent and the defense that they could be interesting. Don't be surprised if the Thunder get some sort of upset in the playoffs, because you've got 3 high-level talented players that are going to be in the half court a lot, and high talented players help you win playoff games because it's a half court game. And another reason they can upset people in the playoffs is the fact that they have that defense. Defense is so important in playoff games because you're in half-court situations the whole time. If you're a team that can't defend in the half-court, you're not going to win a lot of playoff games, and that's something the Thunder can do. And in the half-court, if they just have to win, they just have to have 4 good offensive games in a series, and they win a series. So don't be surprised if the Thunder are surprising in the playoffs. The defense is legit. And you have good games from Paul George or Russell Westbrook. Hardest name to say in the NBA, by the way. For someone who talks about basketball a lot. Russell Westbrook is like Peter Piper Punk. Anyways, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo, along with Steven Adams, Robertson, just some nice pieces on that team that could be really interesting in the playoffs. And so I don't mind the Thunder makeup. I don't think Thunder fans should be that worried. I think you'll be okay in the playoffs. I really do. I think you've got talent that can surprise some people, and I don't think you're upsetting Houston or Golden State, but I could see you upsetting the Spurs. Why not? Anyways, make sure you guys go like and subscribe. Go to SLC Dunk, read all our articles. Tough one tonight for the Jazz, a 30-point loss. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Spurs tomorrow, but go to SLC Dunk, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like everything. My Twitter is Hanson James. Go talk to me if you want. I'd love to hear from you. Talk to you later. Bye.